Welcome to the Take Your Power Back show with Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yeater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your power, to take action in your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. Listen in today as we speak to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired. Be encouraged. Be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yeater.
Freedom-loving patriots, welcome to the Take Your Power Back show. I'm your host, Peak Performance Master Coach Kim Yeater. Today's empowering program, yes, it is, will encourage you to step into your God-given power, access your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. In today's special Take Your Power Back show, Treason, JJ Carrell shares his gripping exposé of the Biden administration's strategic and deliberate destruction of America's sovereignty in his new book, Treason. This is not speculation. It is a searing account from someone who witnessed the betrayal firsthand. For 24 years, JJ Carrell served in the U.S. Border Patrol, rising to the rank of deputy patrol agent in charge. He fought on the front lines of America's border security, safeguarded a system designed to protect the nation. But in January of 2021, everything changed. In his new book, Treason, JJ shares how the most secure border in United States history was destroyed overnight. Construction of border wall halted, long-standing immigration laws were replaced with unconstitutional directives, and millions of illegals flooding into the country, enabled by a web of corrupt partnerships between the government and NGOs. JJ Carrell watched his life work disintegrate into an instant. The policies he was forced to implement as an agent weren't just ineffective. They were a direct result, a direct assault on the very sovereignty of the United States. Unable to stand it any longer, he made the painful decision to retire and speak out. Today, you're going to see for yourself firsthand how JJ Carrell's story in his new Treason book, a rallying cry for those who refuse to let America's sovereignty be sold off piece by piece. It's for those of you who believe in truth, those of us who believe in accountability and the power of exposing corruption, no matter how difficult it is to face. Talk about taking your power back. Prepare to be shocked, prepare to be outraged, prepare to be moved. Because once you see the full picture, there's no going back. Before we bring JJ Carrell into the room, the warrior who rocked Congress, the filmmaker of What is Treason, hashtag invaded, hashtag treason, hashtag trafficked, the documentary, and the author of Treason, JJ Carrell will be joining us in the house. Here we go, commercial break. We're not really breaking though.
This past year has been one of the hardest in MyPillow's history. It's because of you that we're making it through. My employees and I want to thank you for your continued support by extending our wholesale prices on classic MyPillows. Get standard classic MyPillows only $14.98. I can't believe I'm even saying that. Only $14.98. But it gets even better. Upgrade to a queen size MyPillow for just $18.98. King size only $1 more. Get my body pillows $29.98 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of these wholesale prices, including my standard size MyPillow, originally $49.98, now only $14.98. Queens $18.98, Kings only $1 more. Not only that, order $75 or more, ship absolutely free. From all of us here at MyPillow, thanks America!
Well, I'll tell you what, Mike Lindell, I was texting with him this morning and I absolutely love his heart. He's like, Kim, you've got the big event, Operation Clean Sweep, Part 3 coming up. How can I support? I mean, when you have somebody like that on your team saying, I am a patriot and I am willing to stand for every single one of us getting the word out and we the people taking our power back, that is awesome. So support Mike Lindell and support by going to mypillow.com/Kim. And I got to tell you, last night I did have the most amazing sleep. And you know what? I've got this adorable neck-sized pillow that I got at My Pillow. And if it were not for that pillow just resting in that area of my neck, I would wake up in neck pain every morning. So I love My Pillow. I love my Giza Dream bed sheets. And I got to tell you, I love my complete mattress sleep system. mypillow.com/Kim. Go get yours today. Test drive it. They will make sure that you're taken care of. Now, let's talk a little bit about how we in America are in the midst of economic warfare. It's not really just us in America, is it? We have teams in Australia. We have teams in Canada. We have teams in Germany. And here's what we're doing. We are helping the patriots across the globe take their power back from BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, and take their power back from the big box retailers. The illusion of choice. The Procter & Gamble's, the Colgate and Palmolive's, the Johnson & Johnson's. These are the big box manufacturers that do not serve we the people. Let's just take inventory. What kinds of ingredients do they have in these products? They have parabens, alcohols, sulfates, triclosan, quaternary disinfectants. These are heavy metals. Why is that important? What's the biggest organ in our bodies? It's our skin. What's on our skin within 26 seconds hits the bloodstream. What are you washing your clothes in? What are you washing your body in? What are you brushing your teeth with? It's time to get the chemicals out in one shot and to get nutrition in the body that actually absorbs. How do you do it? You make the switch, just like I did 20 years ago. You make the switch to an American patriot, debt-free manufacturer, family-owned, best of science and nature. These guys make over 400 products that are just better, safer, and a lot less expensive than your stores. You want to take your power back? We have partnered with patriots across the country, not only with taking their health back, right? But we put money back in their pocket. So when you shop here, you're feeding a farmer, you're feeding a rancher, you are serving a ministry and supporting those organizations where children have been trafficked and the organizations are rescuing them. That's the power of patriotsmade.com/Kim. So go to patriotsmade.com/Kim. You'll see a virtual tour there where you can make the choice for yourself. And one of our team of experts will reach out and make sure that you are set up for success. That's patriotsmade.com/Kim. Now, let's talk about your hard-earned money. Listen, there are all kinds of gold and silver companies. They are everywhere. And during this patriot movement, we've had access to so many choices. But which is the right choice for you? Well, I'm going to tell you what the right choice was for the Take Your Power Back show and for my family. The right choice was Verity Metals. That's right, Verity Metals. Matt Geiger represents Verity Metals. You want to take your hard-earned money and purchase real, actual, physical gold and silver. But what do you do with the gold and silver? Where do you store it? Verity Metals has access to vetted depositories in your local communities so that lock and key, you can go get your gold, go get your silver when you want it. So if you have an IRA, a 401k that has been sitting there and you're like, what am I going to do with that 401k, that IRA? How do I get my gold and silver? Now's the time. Do it today. Go to veritymetals.com. That's veritymetals.com. You'll see Matt Geiger's number there. 480-717-9081. Matt will make sure that you are set up for success. And when you make the switch and get your gold and silver, you too are taking your power back and supporting the Take Your Power Back show. That's veritymetals.com. All right, guys. I'm so excited. All right, so what's going on in our neck of the woods today? We are back at the Take Your Power Back show with yours truly, Kim Yeater. So today, joining us for a powerful conversation, Treason is the author of the brand new book, JJ Carrell. Treason is a gripping expose of the Biden administration's deliberate and systematic unraveling of American sovereignty. In this book, Treason, you will see all of the info that will wake you up, shake you up, and give you, the American citizen, your power back. Let's bring in that rock star, that warrior who rocked Congress with his border report, the filmmaker of What is Treason, #invaded, and What is Treason, #trafficked, the documentary, and the author of Treason. JJ Carrell, come on in.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks for having me on and talking about something that has become a passion of mine from my 24 years in the Border Patrol, is writing my second book. And I feel as if I needed to write. I called to write this because what we have lived through for 4 years, and we're still continue on, just because Trump's in president does not stop it. We're living in a time of treason against the United States of America.
Yes, JJ, we are. And here's what I love about you. I mean, you're everywhere. You're absolutely everywhere right now. We found you in the midst of the illegal immigration borders with the millions of people who came over. You were shining the light on all of it. You are shouting out. And the fact that you said, and I shared this in your intro before you popped on today, you retired because you couldn't stand by and see the warriors hamstrung and we the people, our power being taken away from us. So I just want to acknowledge you. You are a true warrior. You lead by example, JJ, and you just keep on ticking. How do you keep your energy up? How do you do this, JJ?
I just do it. Well, thank you very much for those kind words. And I do have some personal resentment to the fact that I had to retire, because when I joined the Border Patrol in the late 90s, one of my goals when I first came in was I wanted to be the patrol agent in charge. I wanted to have my own station down the border, have control of about 500 men. And I was within a year and a half of getting that goal accomplished. And I was forced out. And I say that no one said, hey, you got to leave. You got to, no, but I was, because there was no way that I was going to continue to be fighting unconstitutional orders, because some people say to me, well, why didn't you stay? You should have stayed and fought. You don't understand, when you've been fighting your whole career, your whole 24 years, been fighting to just get the opportunity to play the game correctly. You're tired. You're done. I had 2 years, the last 2 years of President Trump's term in office. The first 2 years, we didn't do anything. Why? Because our own Republican Party, Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell, sabotaged everything. So it wasn't until the end of Trump's term that we actually began to win, like dominate. And I was like, if he wins again, I'm staying. I'll stay. And my career is going to skyrocket, because they're going to need men like me to continue to enforce laws. And then in an instant, he lost the election from fraud and theft. And then the whole world changed, and my whole world changed. I went from a law enforcement guy to now being out of law enforcement. So I have a lot of personal resentment to the people. Joe Biden, when I talk about Joe Biden, I'm talking about the cabal. He doesn't even know is he even alive? We don't even know if he's alive now. But the people that allow this to happen. And now when I watch and speak to people like Gil Maza, and we talk about the people that are in charge of the Border Patrol, the upper level of the Border Patrol, there's no way I could be around those people and continue to do unconstitutional orders. Because to be honest with you, the upper level of the United States Border Patrol caved to Secretary Mayorkas, and they carried out unlawful orders. And when you're in law enforcement, that is one of the things they drill into you. You are forbidden to follow unconstitutional orders. You have a moral obligation to say, no, I'm not doing this. This is against the law. Didn't see that. We saw people capitulate to power and wealth and their jobs, and they capitulated, and they did treason against America.
They certainly did. JJ, what has been the impact on you with other Border Patrol agents that you worked with, that continue to stay on, when they saw you take a stand? What was that impact in that relationship between you and them? How did they respond?
They responded in gratitude. They were thankful that I was
Wow.
saying something that needed to be said, because they all know it. All of those men and women, I'm talking about the lower echelon of them, the foot soldiers, the people that are on the ground, the supervisors who are equivalent to a sergeant, and the watch commanders who are equivalent to a lieutenant in a police department. They held on because they knew if Donald Trump could just get back in office, we can right this ship. And they did. Because I want your audience to understand, from day one Joe Biden took office until the day he left, they were averaging between 5,000 and 20,000 arrests and released every single day for 4 years. Donald Trump comes in the very first day, not day 1,000, the first day, Kim, the border shut down. We're at 90. It is amazing. But then if you follow this out, why did the prior administration not stop this?
It's a great question.
They could have. And the reason why they didn't is because that was not their plan. People say, well, Biden was a failure. No, he wasn't. He was extremely successful. They intentionally, strategically opened our borders, and they were winning. In fact, some people can say right now they have won, unless Donald Trump removes the 50 million illegal aliens in our country right now.
Well, JJ, tell us a little bit. Let's go a little deep dive into the book Treason. Listen, you already were fighting. You've gone before Congress. You and Ryan Matta, got those documentaries complete. You got them out everywhere. You've been educating the public. You've been speaking out. So why the book Treason right now?
Because I knew that I left it open. My first book, Invaded, was a bestseller on Amazon multiple times. Certainly was only my 2 years, up to the 2-year mark of President Biden. So much happened within the time that I finished writing the book, through the editing process to when it was released. My data was already proven correct, and over double my predictions. So when I sat down, I said, okay, I did the documentaries, and that took my life, right, for about 6 to 8 months. And I kept saying, I got to write this book. I got to write this book, because I needed to document what these people did. And the way I wrote the book, Kim, was I presented it. I took on the writing style as if I was still in my job in the Border Patrol. I made a large narcotic or human smuggling arrest, and I was presenting evidence to U.S. attorney. Here's my sworn statements. Here's the sworn statements of the men, the criminals. Here's all the evidence. Here's everything that you need to prosecute. I did the same thing when I wrote this, but this time I was pushing all into the American public and going, here is all the treason that was committed. This is how they did it. Here's their own statements. Now you need to prosecute them, America. And everything in my book is cited. In fact, I want everyone to fact check me. In fact, I was on an interview last night by a leftist, and he even admitted, he goes, I'm not going to question you on anything that you wrote in your book because you cited everything. And I know that everything that you said in there is true. I just don't agree with your politics. I said, fair enough. I think that's fair. But thank you for acknowledging what I wrote in the book is true. It's honest. It's not my feelings. It's not what I hypothesize happened. No, this is what happened. I know what happened because I was there. I witnessed it firsthand, and I know the inside baseball of policy and law and DHS, and how Mayorkas bastardized it all and flushed it upon us. And what makes me I'm a very black and white guy. I'm a very justice oriented. I want justice. Yes. And the way I feel right now, I feel Biden has disappeared. No one's heard of Mayorkas. It's like he went out to Mars. Oh, yeah. They need to be brought in and arrested for treason. And that's my final push on the book is Donald Trump can't not act. This is treason. Yes. You can't let them just walk off into the sunset, because what will happen in 4 years when you're gone, sir? Those savages, those traitors to America, those hyenas and jackals will come back, and they'll come back stronger.
That's right. That's right. It's like, there's an old film. It's an old TV series that came up when my kids were little, and the Veggie Tales. That's what it was called. It was Veggie Tales, and they had
Yep.
something called. Remember the rumor weed? That rumor weed, just that sucker kept coming up, and it kept growing, and it just reminds me of, if you don't take the sucker out by the root, you take it out and you clean it out, that will grow back, and it will come back 7 times worse. That's actually a biblical scripture about cleaning the house, and those demons come back 7 times worse. So we got to clean it out. This is treason. It needs to be dealt with swiftly. We need to see justice served. Now, in your book, Treason, which people can find at Amazon right now, JJ has a brand new site that's going to be coming up. JJ, I'm excited about your site.
Yeah.
People can, but right now, Amazon is where they want to access Treason. So last night, my producers, as we were getting everything ready, were like, I need to get JJ's book now. I need to go get it now. It's so exciting. So I'm excited. I personally want my signed copy, JJ. I love a signed copy of your book. That would be amazing. Amazing. So why don't you take us into one of the stories in your book, one of the moments that even now may come up in your dreams at night, those experiences that you had where you physically you saw it with your own eyes, you heard it with your own ears, and your hands were right there. Tell us one of those moments, JJ.
Well, I'm going to tell you the story that you might not think that that had the most impact on me, but it was when I went and testified in front of Congress. And I drove into DC, and I've been there many, many times. And the 2 things were overwhelming. Was the overwhelming beauty of our nation's capital. And then the second thing was this tangible feeling, like it was palpable, was how much power was in this city. And you instinctively know no group of people or a location should possess this amount of power. And my belief going into this congressional hearing on child sex trafficking as an expert witness was, this is going to be horrible, but I'm here because Donald Trump had already won the election, and I knew that maybe my words will have some sway. And I went in there believing that the government is the enemy, it is evil, and I believe that to this day. And the other thing that I knew was the government is inherently run by the stupidest people in our population in America. And that, unfortunately, was proven true to me. And I remember sitting there anxious, a little nervous, right? Because you're speaking and it's all in congressional testimony. But I knew everything I was saying. I know it from I can recite it frontwards or backwards because I believe it and I know it to be true. But I remember sitting there, and I wrote this in my book because it was a very powerful moment for me to realize that the federal government, the people that run it, are our enemies. And then I sat there when a Congresswoman, Delia Ramirez from Illinois, was sitting there with her very thick accent. And she began to, for 5 minutes, destroy my character, call me a white nationalist, call me a racist, she actually said out loud, he shouldn't even be here because he has no experience on the border in this issue, right? And
How many years?
Yeah, I know, but you can't say anything. And then in a very emotional state, and I try never to be emotional when I'm testifying, but she became emotional. And then when people are emotional, they say things that they would never say without emotion, writing their cognitive thought. Yes. And she made an utterance that I cannot believe she said. And I'm sitting there after she castigated me. And she said out loud, I don't ever want to have these conversations again, talking about women and children being raped on the border, because my mother from Guatemala crossed the border illegally, and she was raped, and she crossed the border pregnant with me. And I sat back and I looked and I said, does anybody realize that she just admitted to being an illegal alien? And I almost felt like this. I almost felt like going, hey, do you see it? What
in your face.
In your face. In the halls of Congress, that we have an illegal alien congresswoman that is calling me names and questioning me. The enemy is inside of our walls. And then I do a deep dive on Dahlia, and Dahlia is married to an illegal alien, self-admitted illegal alien. her uncles are illegal aliens. And yet she has the title of Congresswoman. You have to be a U.S. citizen to be a Congressperson. I went and checked. She didn't naturalize. How did it happen? Because we allowed it to happen, Kim. We sat by. Look, I'm going to be very clear. I'm looking at the left side of the aisle that is castigating me, and I'm looking at some people that are, and I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I'm not the idiot in the room either. I'm looking at some of the dumbest people in our population. However, I look to my right and I see all the pasty white men that are about 60, 70, 80 years old that are Republicans that never said a word. Why? Because they're gutless, they're cowards, they're afraid to be called a racist, they're impotent, and that is what's happened to America. We are led by grotesquely incompetent people, and that has been obvious for the last several decades of my life, that the enemy and the evil is our federal government, and no one will convince me otherwise.
Yeah. You know, JJ, with Take Our Border Back, we were exposing so much of this, you know, and we had tens of millions participate in one way or another in the Take Our Border Back movement. And we really believe that if we get the word out there, that people are going to begin to see, their eyes are going to be opened, and then they're going to start taking their power back on a local level. We began to see for sure people in action. I mean, we wouldn't be here now with Trump in office, right? We wouldn't have seen Abbott close the border. But the reality is, we did what we could to rally the people, we the people. Now, what do we do to pick up the government and shake it out and release all of that junk? Because there are some things that are happening for sure with Donald J. Trump, our new president in charge, okay? But what are we going to do to really clean house? What do you see is possible at this time?
Well, I think once Kash Patel this is just my belief. Once Kash Patel becomes the director of FBI, I think that is the last piece of Trump's puzzle. And then I believe, from what I'm hearing, arrests will commence. And you don't, look, I'm not saying this is easy. I'm not saying Donald Trump is sitting there gleefully saying, okay, I'm going to arrest these people. And no, it's going to be a nightmare for him. Current historians are going to excoriate him. They're going to call him all these vile names. And what I implore to Donald Trump is, sir, you don't have a choice. You have to go arrest these people. And there might be thousands of them, sir, but you have to arrest them. And what you're going to go through, the pain and suffering today, historians from 100 years are going to write volumes about you the way we write volumes about George Washington, that you saved our republic. They're going to put you on the pedestal of George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, and Donald Trump. Men that saved our republic. But if you don't, and if you do what you did in 2016 and you let Hillary Clinton walk, what you did is you showed weakness to the jackals and hyenas, and they will learn from their mistakes, and they will come back, as you said, sevenfold strong. And they will devour not only you, sir, because you're in the twilight of your life. They will go after your children, and worse yet, sir, they will go after your grandchildren. You know it. We all know this is going to happen unless he acts. And this is the irony of all of it, Kim. And this is why the left are so afraid. They know that Donald Trump has no other option but to be offensive and go after them. They left him no choice. He knows that. They've tried to kill him twice that we know of. So we're not talking about hypotheticals. They were within a quarter of an inch of having his head explode on national TV. So he feels, that's why I feel and witness the urgency of what he's doing. Everything is so fast. I know you are like me, a news junkie. You wake up in the morning and you're like, what happened?
So crazy, JJ. It's like we can't even, and you and I are on shows back to back, right? We're leading shows, we're on shows, and then we're like, oh my gosh, what's the breaking news since I've been on the show? We've never, the Biden administration did nothing except cause mass disorder, destruction, and chaos. Okay. And they did nothing to actually support our sovereignty, give power back to we the people. And like you said, Mayorkas, he was doing nothing. Nothing. And all of these children go lost.
Yep.
You know, we have 160 nations that crossed the border, men of fighting age. Their women aren't coming with them in most cases. Why are they coming into this country? We have the children lost. We have the children, human trafficked. Things shut down. We don't even know where the kids are. They still lost those kids, and they found some of them. But JJ, where, there's so many things running through my mind right now. I want to take us right back to your book. Let's go right back to your book right now, Treason. And you say in this book, prepare to be shocked. You say prepare to be outraged. You say prepare to be moved. Let's connect the dot. Now we see everything in movement. Everything's in movement right now because Trump is in office. Like you said, it's happening so fast. What about this book is so timely for right now? Why is it every single person needs to get this in their hands? They need to share it with everybody in their community and read it and eat it up. Why is that so important right now?
Because everything I wrote in that book is happening right now. Everything that I said happened is being proven to me and to my audience that reads this book. Let me give you one example, and it's a powerful example. My contention is the federal government intentionally paid international NGOs to move millions, tens of millions of people to the border. Our government, through the DHS and through funneling and laundering money to FEMA, paid NGOs to domestically move these people into America. And guess what Donald Trump's been able to do? USAID. That was the mechanism. And I talk about it in the book. That is what happened. My whole contention is that our federal government used your money to commit treason and ultimately to kill America. How were they going to do that? They were going to demographically change America, not by race or ethnicity, but they were going to change our complete demographic from citizen to non-citizen. And I lay it out perfectly. And everything that I wrote, which is, I just finished this writing it probably a month ago.
Yes,
got it
I remember conversations in your writing.
So everything that I wrote about a month ago,
yes,
because Donald Trump has been in office less than a month, he has put a spotlight on everything that I wrote about and proved in that book. He has validated and shown that everything I've written is absolutely factually true, and it will shock you.
Amazing. Get your book. For all of our listeners today, go get your book. Get your book. JJ Carrell's gripping expose of the Biden administration's strategic and deliberate destruction of America's sovereignty, our sovereignty. Get Treason today on Amazon.com. Amazon.com, guys, just Google it. You'll find it. It's right there. JJ's new site is going to be up soon. His movies are on jjcarrell.com. But for now, go get that book at Amazon.com. So, JJ, why don't you tell me your thought on President Trump declaring the cartels terrorist organizations?
I think there's no other choice. This is one of those things where when Donald Trump left office, the overdose deaths was over 50,000, which is a Vietnam every year. Because we have open borders, the fentanyl overdose and hard narcotic overdose is now over 150,000 a year. There is nothing else to do. They are killing Americans. In fact, we can go one step further and say the drug cartels have killed hundreds of thousands of people than the terrorists could ever dream of. The Middle East terrorists could never do the damage that is being done by the cartels. Now, but I also want to say something too, Kim. Do I hate the cartels? Are they demons? And if I could go back into a job and be rehired and go and hunt them down and kill them, yes, I would literally sign up for that job. However, who is consuming the most child pornography in the world? United States of America. Who consumes the most narcotics in the world? America. Who produces the most pornography and exports it? America. Who physically pays money to rape children? America. So if we want to be honest and be intellectually honest, we have to say that the cartels are only supplying the cravings and demands that we ask for. They are no different than Amazon. I want a book. I want to get Treason. I want to get a box of gum. I want to get socks. I call Amazon and have them delivered. I want hard narcotics. I want children to rape. I want cheap labor.
So
I call
sick.
the cartels. So America needs to put the mirror in front of them, ourselves, and
Yeah.
look deeply into us.
Yeah.
We are the problem. The cartels are not the problem.
Yeah.
We are. If we didn't demand those things, guess what? The cartels would go to Europe, Africa, wherever they needed to sell it. They wouldn't be selling it here. We are the problem, Kim.
Yeah, yeah. JJ, I was on a call a little while ago with a reporter who has been clearly reporting on the farms in the breadbasket of California. Okay, or they call it the salad basket, actually, of California. And what they're finding is these illegal immigrants aren't coming to work. They're not coming to work because they're
No.
afraid, right?
Mhm.
So we have all these fruits and vegetables sitting out there. Okay, but some of these farms are known for the raping and pillaging of the illegal immigrants
Absolutely.
because they are integrated with the cartels. So we might have to feel the pain for a little bit across the country of maybe not having all the fruits and vegetables that we want available. That's why it's important for us to be growing at home. Set yourself up for success. But we've got a clean house. They should have never hired illegal immigrants in the first place.
That's it. But you know what's interesting, Kim? Because I lived in California for so long, and it's so diverse, like racial, ethnic, everything's diverse. And there's a very large population of Mexican nationals, both legal and illegal. But so you have farm workers and stuff. What we're sold, the propaganda that we are sold, that our economy, the greatest economy in the world, is dependent on illegal aliens from third world countries that are illiterate in their own language. That's such a fallacy, because I tell people, do you know the largest sector of our economy that employs illegal aliens? And people go, well, it has to be service industry or construction. Yeah, it is construction. Do you know how many illegal aliens make up the percentage of workers in construction? And everyone's like 75%. No, try 13. 13%.
Wow.
Do you know how many
That's
people?
huge.
Yes.
You
Do you
wouldn't
know
think
how many?
that.
Yeah, you think that you're
Because the whole other
propagandized.
side is saying, that we basically, the United States is existing because of the illegal immigrants building and growing. But listen, we love people from other countries. We love legal immigrants.
Legal.
We all come from that background. That's not the issue. But 13%, JJ.
Do you know how many? You know what the percentage for the next highest sector is? Is
Tell
the
me.
service industry, McDonald's, etc. Right? Our hamburgers are going to cost $50, right? If we lose them, 7% of the workforce, 7%. That's it. And you will feel it in states like New York or California. But if you go into Middle America, where I live, and you go to a car wash, it's just no illegals. It's a lie. It's a fallacy. Now, and I want to piggyback on what you said. We want legal immigrants.
Yes.
And when you bring in illegal immigrants, what you've done is you have undercut legal immigrants that came here because they love America, want to be Americans, and are striving to move up the economic ladder in 1 generation, 2 generations. They have doctors and lawyers. That's what they're aspiring. But they'll never get there because we're undercutting their wage and we're kicking them to the side. So the people that came here to do the right thing went through years of process and procedure, paid thousands of dollars, did all kinds of interviews. We just laugh at you because here comes all the illegals and they're going to take your job. Is that law and order? Is that the America that those people saved to come to America? No, it's not. So we have a moral obligation to the people that we have invited into America and allow them to chase and obtain the American dream. So I'm all for legal immigrants.
Absolutely. That's exactly the way to go. I'm going to pop up your book here again because I want people to go and get this book. This is really important. JJ just doesn't write a book because he wants to, be popular. He wants to say, hey, I got another book on my shelf. I got another book. No. JJ is powerfully informing every single one of us. JJ, this is one of those books that's going to go down in history. That's the reality. And you are being a stand for the generations to come, for my grandbabies, for my grandbabies. We really do get to take this country back, and we need to hold these people accountable. So Amazon.com, go to Amazon.com and get your book, Treason. That is key today. Treason at Amazon.com. Now, I want to pop over real quick, JJ, before we kind of finish out the show. There's a couple things I want to share. You and I have partnered together with the Patriots Made community, right? And Freedom Stakes Now community. We have partnered together in helping we the people take our power back from BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, right? Take our power back from the big box retailers. I shared a commercial kind of before you came into the room just about how we can take our power back by switching to an American debt-free family-owned manufacturer, 39 years in business, that just has better, safer products. And rather than our money going to Procter & Gamble, rather than our money going to those big box retailers, the illusion of choice, or going to the Wally family or Jeff Bezos, it actually goes back into we the people's pocket. It goes to a farmer. It goes to a rancher. It goes to a ministry and to many of our teams out there to support our platforms of truth. I want to know your take. What's your take about taking our power back with Patriots Made and the never ever hormone or antibiotic black label beef with Freedom Stakes Now?
That's the best way for years. I've been sending money, going to big box stores or paying Verizon and all that and going, God, they hate me. I'm paying money to organizations that despise what I believe in. They mock me. They give money to Planned Parenthood. They give money to Black Lives Matter. Then they poison me. I find out that you put plastics in my food. You put metals in my shampoo and my lotions. What in God's name is going on? So when you brought this to me and said, hey, you don't have to go to Wally World. You don't have to go to Costco. You don't have to go to you can go here. I'm like, okay, I didn't even know this existed. I knew that there was a up and coming conservative marketplace economy almost. And this bridges the gap. So, and what we talked about is I go to Costco and spend $600, but they're full on DEI. That means that they're racist and they're excluding white males, particularly white males in their hiring practices. Hold on. I don't want to go there and give them my money, but I can go to Patriots Made and spend less money, get the same or more products, and these products are all natural and they're helpful. The decision was made very easy for me. That's where I have to go. And then it gets delivered to your house, and you are now giving your money to an organization that loves America and believes in what you believe. Why would I continue to pay for my own destruction?
I love it. Yeah. Why? Exactly why. It's funny. Sometimes we can feel powerless, like, oh my gosh, we're getting sprayed. Oh my gosh, this, oh my gosh, that. And we're in this, oh my gosh, powerless place. But we really do have the ability to take action and tap into resources that are going to give us our power back. So you guys can go to patriotsmade.com. Go to patriotsmade.com. The QR code is right here. Tap on in. JJ and I are here to support you guys every step of the way. We are all about we the people taking our power back. Now, one more thing I want to share that JJ and I love is the Freedom Stakes Now. This is amazing. Hold on. Let's do the smaller one. That way I'm not covering your face, JJ. There you go. Okay. So what the heck is Freedom Stakes Now? Okay. Let me tell you. I had beef for dinner last night and it was the bomb. I love my Riverbend Ranch. Never ever hormoned or antibiotic black label beef. Freedom Stakes Now leads us to that resource. Now, I say to people all the time, JJ, I've eaten beef at Mar-a-Lago, which I'm super grateful for. It was amazing, right? I've eaten beef at the highest level steakhouses, but I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't choose to eat beef out anymore. This is the best beef I've ever eaten. It's less expensive than Costco. Okay. It doesn't have the zeranol in it. That's outlawed outside of the United States, by the way, and legal here in the United States. And there's no hormones or antibiotics. They're an American company and it's all vertical integration. So where's the beef, JJ?
Yes. There's the beef. Where's the beef? It's at Freedom Stakes Now. And I love it because you don't know what you're getting now. You have no idea. They don't even have to put labels on where the beef came from, right? You just don't know. So I believe in this product. That's why I promote it on my show. And if I didn't believe it, I wouldn't promote it.
Come on. freedomstakesnow.com. All right. So without further ado, let's wrap up today's show with, let's go back to the book. And there was a chapter in your book. Now, mind you, your book is powerful. There's a lot of incredible information that we need to access. Okay. But I have this sense that there's an area of the book that is close to your heart. There's an area of treason that you're like, man, I really hope people get this. And I hope that they get this piece. What is that piece, JJ?
Well, I think there's a couple, because when you write a book, it's so personal, right? No matter what you're writing about, it's your thoughts and your beliefs, and then you leave yourself open, you leave yourself vulnerable, which I do not like doing. But in order to create something, you have to be vulnerable, or you hide it in your closet and no one sees it, and then it's just a waste of time. Two things that I want people to realize: that your government sold you, America, for 30 pieces of silver. They sold you. And now it's proven. It's not even arguable. It's just, it is what it is. And the second thing is I wrote a chapter called Trump in Washington. And why it was important to me is President Washington is a historical hero to me. I think they called him the indispensable man. And when you read, I've read a lot on him. When you read his story, what an incredible man. And they are right. Without him, we would have no nation. Maybe it would be America, maybe the United States, but it wouldn't be this United States of America. And what I did is I compared both these men, Trump and Washington. And at first sight, you kind of would push back and go, you're insane. There's nothing these men share. But when you strip away the hair and the clothes and the money and the different time frames, and you focus on their patriotism, their absolute belief in God, and their belief that they are chosen for this time, they're identical. They're identical. Would they be friends? I don't know. I would bet no. But when you look at their desire to be great and to lead America, it's undeniable. And I find these men I think these men are interlocked. And I think if Trump continues on this path, he will be recognized in the same breath as George Washington, Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
I really do.
Yes.
I really believe that.
Yes. So the question is, are we going to rise up? Are we going to be the George Washingtons? Are we going to be the Abraham Lincolns? For every single listener today, and my audience, and JJ's audience, it is so important that we realize that where we are right now, our homes, our families, the gifts, the talents that each one of us have, it is for this time. We've been chosen for this time to stand up, to speak up, and to show up. So don't ever think that, JJ, I hate it when people feel like, well, little old me, I can't really do a whole lot. My schedule's so busy. We're two of the most busiest people alive. People say all the time, how the heck do you do it? You can do it. When you live by passion, you live in purpose, you absolutely can do it. And I really believe when we're vehicles for God, he creates the space for us to show up, stand up, and speak up. So my encouragement is for every single person to pick up this book, know your rights as well. Grab your Constitution, read JJ's book, and then I'm pulling mine out. Go get your Constitution. Go get your Constitution. I've got 3 of them. Go get your Constitution. Go get your Constitution. Go get it and read it. Get it and read it. Really important, so that we know what our rights are, so that we truly can take our republic back. And as a reminder, JJ, I tell people all the time, it's not done because Trump is in office.
No, it's not. He just started. And think of what this man has to accomplish. I know he doesn't sleep but 4 hours a night. I don't care if he didn't sleep at all. He needs about 10,000 lifetimes to do what he needs to do. That's where it comes to us. And I always use the imagery of Trump is the shield. Like he's got a giant shield, and he's battling all the demons, all the anti-American people, in order for us to work behind the scenes and do what we need to do. That means taking over your school boards, taking over your city council, get the mayor in, get your sheriffs, and don't talk to me about, well, that's not, can't be done. No, I know it can be done because I watched the left do it. How do you think that we have transgender studies and all this anti-God stuff in our schools? How? Well, they took over the school boards in
That's
small
right.
towns across America. You live in San Diego as I did. When I lived in
Mhm.
San Diego in the late 90s and early 2000, it was solid red, solid. It is now 100% solid blue.
Yeah.
Overnight, it
And we're
did from
fighting.
fighting.
Mhm.
Yep. But you're
Mhm.
losing. You're losing because not enough people are getting involved. And listen, if Donald Trump could get shot, have his children be sued and try to take their business from him,
Mm.
give away his twilight years of his life to America,
Okay.
you
Yeah.
sure in hell can get educated so you don't sound so stupid and ignorant, and become educated and be able to fight the fight when the leftist lunatics come at you and call you bad names and vile names. Just like I teach my 13-year-old son, Joseph, it's not enough for you to know what you believe in. You have to be ready to articulate it and stand firm in the ground that you believe in. God is real. Jesus is his son to save
Come
us.
on.
And we
Come
are
on.
a republic, period. And never, ever, ever apologize for what you believe in.
That's right. And guys, go get JJ's book right now. JJ's gripping expose of the Biden administration's strategic and deliberate destruction of our sovereignty. Go get it at Amazon.com. JJ, I just love you so much. Thank you so much for being with us today. You are a blessing. You are a warrior. And I am honored to stand beside you in taking this great republic back.
Thank you, Kim. I love your energy, and I just want to capture some of it to get rid to have me fuel for the rest of my day. Thank you very much.
God is with you, my brother. Love you so
All right.
much. And we're going to have you back again. JJ Carrell, what is Treason has been the movie. What is Trafficked is the movie. But now it's time to get the book, Treason. JJ, I'll see you on the other side.
All
God
right.
bless
Thank
you,
you.
my brother. So good. Okay, guys, we are not done yet. Here's the deal. Tomorrow's a big day. Well, first of all, let's wrap this show up. And then I got to share with you what's happening tomorrow because it's big. Is what's happening, what we just saw right now, is that big? Oh, you bet your booty. We know that the border is an overflow of the bigger agenda. Okay, so we know that there is a global agenda to take this country down. And this has been going on way before we were born, guys. But remember, everything has come out in this time. We are seeing exposure at the highest level. JJ Carrell's book, Treason, documents everything for you. Go get that book. You're going to want that. That is going to be a historical book. Now, tomorrow is a very big day. Tomorrow's a very big day because it is the final segment. This is the segment that we have all been waiting for. It is the exposure. Operation Clean Sweep Part 3. Part 1 and Part 2 have taken place over the past few weeks. If you haven't seen them, they are extraordinary. You want to join us as we live stream Part 3 tomorrow. That is Thursday, the 20th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Central, and 1 p.m. Eastern. Join us in Part 3 of our 3-part series unfolding the evidence of mass corruption across transnational lines. And yes, let me tell you, the border is all connected. DOGE is exposing USAID and corruption at high levels, and Assistant Chief Sean Taylor and former City Attorney Bryant Kroll break it down to bite-sized pieces at a very local level, providing all the evidence as we roll out, and for those of you who saw it, the 16-year murder board, connecting all the dots like a string of pearls, each pearl being a parasite of corruption. This is the template for we, the people, to take our power back at a local level. General Flynn has been saying local action equals national impact, and now it's time. This civil federal RICO case that was launched is the template for all of us fighting the systematic corruption and opens the door for a federal criminal RICO case to prosecute these criminals. So if you haven't heard Part 1 and Part 2, Put them on tonight with dinner. Put them on. Listen in. Turn the TV off. Turn social media off. Get on this. Listen in as we will tomorrow recap part 1 and part 2 of Operation Clean Sweep, where we uncovered the witch hunt against Millersville Police Department and Veterans for Child Rescue, Craig Salmon Sawyer. This was the first and second of a 3-part series unfolding the evidence of mass corruption on a transnational level with tentacles far and wide. From Canada to the Ukraine, the BRICS nations to China. You'll hear more about that tomorrow. And Diddy to Epstein. That's right. Diddy to Epstein. This is systematic corruption. And what we see taking place in Millersville, Tennessee is a microcosm of what is being exposed nationally and internationally and is happening in your own backyard. You can go to my Rumble channel at rumble.com/C Take Your Power Back show to catch part 1 and part 2. We're also on Twitter at Real Kim Yeater. And I want you guys to join us on this same live stream that you're listening to. We'll reset in a couple of hours to get ready for the show. Assistant chief, former assistant chief, or retired assistant chief. How can he be retired? The guy has not stopped, but he's retired. Assistant Chief Sean Taylor will be with us. And former city attorney Bryant Kroll. Get ready. Get ready. This is it. USAID exposed, and you're going to get it at the microcosm level. So Operation Clean Sweep Part 3. Let's pull that up real quick. I want to give you guys a visual. This is tomorrow's Operation Clean Sweep Part 3. Guys, wait until you see the connections, how they're paying off these elected officials. You know, love Mike Lindell. Mike gets it. You know, when Mike said to me, hey, Kim, how can I help you? You know, the reality is he understands. It's all connected, that election fraud. It's all connected to the global agenda. So join us tomorrow. I am so excited to have you guys. And again, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for taking time out to be with me today, to be with JJ Carrell today. Go get his book, Treason, at Amazon, and support the Take Your Power Back show. You can go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. When you're at takeyourpowerbackshow.com, you'll find access to all of our channels. You'll also have the ability to be able to fund and support us. If you could donate, let me tell you what. I'm just going to drop this here. You know, our Take Our Border Back movement across the country reached tens of millions. We are internationally known. The people are in action. Pretty powerful. We raised $167,000 for our first round of Take Our Border Back. Every cent went to the rallies across the country. Every cent was Take Our Border Back. None of us got paid for this. We worked endless hours, okay? But we were a stand for taking our republic back and closing that border. Now, that $167,000, 10,000 of that also went to the Quemato Ranch in Texas. And this was to support the children that had been trafficked. We also sent over some to Britton Farms in Arizona for hosting the event. We were able to support the Patriots, and we're so grateful. Our second round, we partnered with Canada. And we partnered with Mexico as sovereign nations, the pastors of Mexico, the prayer warriors, the veterans for freedom, Eddie Cornell, you know, our bravery award veterans and teams in Canada. You know, not only do we take our border back in Canada, we took the rainbow back on the Rainbow Bridge. You know, we raised about $5,000 or $6,000 for that round. You know, eyes were in a lot of directions at that time. So there was a lot of money that came out of Take Your Power Back show's pocket. And so on the back end, we covered the losses there, but we knew, like many of us patriots, that this was going to be a cost for all of us to stand for freedom. And we would feel that cost. I share that with you because every cent you donate to takeyourpowerbackshow.com or to the givesendgo.com/take our border back, givesendgo.com/take our border back. Every cent goes to pay that back, you know, and so we're grateful for $1, $5. And some of you who have been donating every month, thank you. And for every single one of you who have donated and supported Take Our Border Back and the Take Your Power Back show, thank you. It's because of you that we are keeping freedom alive. General Flynn just said at Mar-a-Lago the other day, it's the digital warriors. It's the digital warriors. It's us, but it's only us getting the word out there and in making the impact because of you. So thank you. We just love you so much. God bless you. And remember to stand firm. Let nothing move you, to always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, because your work of the Lord is not in vain. And he who began a good work in you, let me tell you, he will carry it out to the very end of the age. We are just getting started. I'm going to declare his kingdom on this earth as it is in heaven. Let's come together. Let's work together. Let's power together. Tomorrow, we have close to 100 live streamers live streaming Operation Clean Sweep Part 3. That's because we together are a stand for freedom and taking our republic back. We love you. God bless you. This is Kim Yeater signing out for today's Take Your Power Back show, Treason. Go get your book today at Amazon.com. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early, with Operation Clean Sweep Part 3.
Thank you for joining us for the Take Your Power Back show. As Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yeater speaks to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Listen in weekly and learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be encouraged, be inspired, be transformed as you step into your power and take action in your leadership and allow your voice to be heard. Together, let's take your power back. To sponsor and support the Take Your Power Back show, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com and take your power back.